Right here, this is showing, again, looking down from the north, the velocity data is not exactly the strongest that I've seen. I've seen a couple other indications of very intense data, but right here, okay, so there's a little gap right there, as you can see by page. That's an inbound, and again, this is moving at a pretty good clip. Let's go ahead and pixel query this to show you what's happening right here with this data as we speak. This is going inbound towards the north, radar to the north, 40. It just dropped because it just jumped off to the east, but it's now right up here, just moved there. So it's actually shifting a little bit to the northeast of that location. Let's go ahead and check that once again out here. And again, this is a radar detected rotation. That is showing whoops. Got to shut that off so I can pull it down. But that's showing inbound right there. As you can see, at about 35 miles an hour, stronger back off to west. Storm relative rotation might give us a better picture on this as we speak. See if we see anything a little bit better associated with that. Not as much. And the shear for you folks. Let's go ahead and look at the shear on this, the shear rate from this storm. And again, we are looking from Sterling. The shear rate is not as impressive as I would like to see from here. Might be a little bit better if we take a look at the data out of Wakefield right now. And again, they did have an instantaneous report right there on the shear rate that was a little bit higher. So there's the area right here, Ann's Wright's corner down through here that continues to show. That's right there along between US 1 and Interstate 95 right here, right on the interstate where the shear is up high enough to where it could be causing something of a, again, a little bit of a rotation there. And again, so once again, this is a tornado warning that is in effect, radar detected storm for Caroline County until 7 o'clock this evening. It's the same parent storm that went through Louisa during our 6 o'clock newscast for you folks. All right, back to the conventional radar picture to show you what's happening right through here. You can see this is the notch right here. This is the little weak area. Widen out a little bit so you can see. Just cross to the east of 95 now. So, okay, here's, there's the shortcut. You come across, you go up and you get off at Carmel Church. There's the shortcut to take you up to Bowling Green and over to 301. There's 301. There is Route 2. So this is the northwestern part of Caroline County as we speak right now, where that storm happens to be located. Not seeing any rotating cylinders associated with it, but this would be the inflow area right here that we would want to look at. So this is where we've got the air flowing into the storm as we speak right now. This would be where the rotation would be developing, and this is the appendage on the backside of that storm. So again, just to the east of Interstate 95 right now. The velocity data from Wakefield, it's been wonky this afternoon for us here. It's wonky once again over the area. So this is not going to help us out a whole lot over it, but their shear data continues to show that the best area of shear located right here, that just jumped up, okay? We just jumped up on that shear right through here, as you can see, just to the south. Let's see, that's Welch's right there. We can go and show you how that shear has increased on the last scan. So this is up to a reading of 11.4. Anytime we get over 10, we are very concerned that there is a tornadic rotation ongoing in this area right now. So that's one of the things to look at. That storm, again, moving off towards the northeast at 30 miles an hour. Matt just put up a new storm track on it. Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, so looking at that same area you were looking at, just using shear as our marker there, right? So it's going to be a Page at 648, over to Woodford at 651, over to Loving Fork at about 656, and you see that track then takes it all the way to Acorns Corner at 657. Again, that tornado warning in effect until 7 o'clock. So that takes it to the edge of that tornado warning and a little bit beyond there. So please keep that in mind. This is the area that we continue to look at. So if you live along State Route 605, coming out of Ann's Wright Corner, approaching Page, approaching Washington Corner, 620, or State Route 2, please take your precautions now. Get into your safe shelter, because this is the area that is under the gun to have this potential strong storm, maybe tornado, because that tornado warning is issued, sliding over you. And again, even if you don't have a tornado, you're going to certainly have very strong straight line winds, a lot of lightning, and of course some extreme heavy downpours. So that's what we continue to look at there. As far as hail goes with it, we have been seeing hail on the north side up toward Thornburg. I'm just going to mark this up. Now remember, where we're shooting way up here, right? So you have a lot of air to come down, some possible melting. We're marking possibly 3-inch hail. That would be roughly baseball size or tennis ball size, actually. So that's a little big, probably more along the lines of maybe inch and a half hail as it melts on the way down. But this does have that potential. And again, When we look at the rainfall amounts, some areas picking up about a ½ inch to a ¼ of an inch. Certainly have some very heavy rain in this, as well as some hail. What I'm really liking was John pointing out here was that influx, right, this turn, our notch as we have going on. So this is looking really well developed, and that's what we keep seeing when we show that shear rate, showing those high numbers there. It looks like the shear rate has relaxed just a little bit, John. That doesn't mean we put our guard down on this storm at all.
Now, we were mentioning in the news earlier that yesterday was the 30th anniversary of the Petersburg tornado,
Yep.
Petersburg Tri-Cities tornado, which is the first F4, which is now the EF scale, reported in Virginia. I want to point out, back then, we didn't have Doppler radar, and what we are using right now to talk about all of this, when we look at the reflectivity data like this, and looking at that curve and at that shape, okay, that is what essentially we have been looking at, okay, across the region through here. That's what we've been using to show you what's going on with the radar data. Go ahead and here, click the radar data back on for you, and I put it on here. So that was the old school way we had to do it back then, 30 years ago, to show you how things are ongoing. So with this notch, that's what we were looking for in one of those type storms, okay, back 30 years ago when we had that. And in fact, the radar site was not in Wakefield, it was in Sterling. It was actually out in Volans, out by Brook Neal. In Virginia. This notch has relaxed a little bit here, but still I'm concerned about this. Yes. Pull up the CC. Pull up the CC, correlation coefficient. So this is one of the new things that we have that we can use with real-time Viper radar, and if it behaves, okay. So what this is showing us is how uniform or dissimilar everything we're picking up in the radar beam happens to be. When it's all similar, it's a very warm color. What we're not seeing right now is right here, all these blues. That indicates that it's not the same stuff, okay? It's not uniform. So this could be a result of hail, or if there is a tornado that has touched down to the north of Wright's Corner, this would be a debris signature associated with this. This would be a debris signature associated with this as we speak. You notice everything going northward is fairly uniform, reds and yellows. That is a concern right now associated with this. So again, this is the storm that we are keeping our eyes on for you here to show you what is happening. Again, there's that notch right there that we are looking at. Not getting any rotation cylinders out of this. I want to see if we see anything out of Sterling. Okay, so let's change the radar over to Sterling and see if we see anything out of that. There's the picture that has changed. There's the notch is a little more defined. There's also right here a little hole in the radar data. Okay, this is what we call a bounded weak echo region right here. So there could be something inside of there as we speak right now. Matt?
The CC, the correlation coefficient, or what's in the air from the Sterling site, is even worse. John was talking about kind of not being uniform. We have something uniform and not what we want to see. What do I mean by that? Look at all of this blue right here. This is very uniform for blue. Even when it updated, it's still holding that blue. And so typically, if you watch John or I or Jackie or Tyler and we talk about CC and we look for rain and snow, a lot of the numbers are 0.9, then maybe 0.8. When we see something at 0.65, that is debris in the air. Be it leaves, be it tree, be it roof shingles, whatever the case may be. It is not rain, it is not snow, it is something more than that. It's not even sleet, because sleet or hail in this matter would show up more in the yellows, which would be about 0.7. So something is flying in the air. The National Weather Service said, by the way, we were talking about that 3-inch hail. It's $half size hail. I don't know that many people remember what those were, but those were the John F. Kennedy pieces.
Yes, JFK on them.
Little big size. So that was about 1.25 inches, 1.5. So, and we saw 3 and we said melting. But this is a concern, John. When you see a CC like that, that's
this is of concern for us here, and this is why we like to use this technology to help us out. And again, you see where this was the area right here. You saw the shear rate. So here's the shear rate from Sterling right there. Go ahead and pop it up there for me, folks. I don't want to do it right there. Okay, so here we go. There we go. There goes the radar data that just popped off. There's the shear rate right here, Wright's Corner over towards Milford. So this is, and again, shear rate tends to run at least a scan behind because it's looking at multiple scans here ongoing. But again, the velocity data from Sterling's been pretty legit. Again, this one right here, so there's a little bit of a couplet right here to the west of Bowling Green right now by Page. That is a little bit of a couplet as we speak right now. So this is the area here. That's got an inbound radar signature that's ongoing towards the radar site as we speak. Go ahead and click that, turn it on. There you go, right there. So, well, it just moved. It just moved off us here and it weakened a little bit. And this is going to spark. That's 2640. These don't look as bad as they were, okay, just a moment ago, but they were done and on out of the way. So, again, this is a possible storm. It's wrapped in rain right now, which is another thing to talk about, folks, okay? So this may be one of those things where, again, you know, there's rain-wrapped tornadic storms over us here. This is weakened a little bit. Storm relative velocity, which takes out the forward motion of the storm, showing a lot moving away from the radar site. So I'm thinking it's on the east side of this area right now. Towards the east side is of State Route 605, probably just east of Page is where that circulation would be as we speak right now at this moment. And that's sure enough, that's just what the reflectivity is showing. There it is right here. There's Bowling Green. So this is just to the north of Bowling Green. Again, there is Route 2, which takes you up into Fredericksburg. It comes up and it goes up into Fredericksburg and then puts you onto US 17 as you head north up through there. And you can also go up right into the city itself that way. Okay, but this is the inflow notch on this storm at this time. And again, we have the tornado warning that is in effect until 7 p.m. That is for Caroline County. Again, it is still right here red, okay, which means this is a warning. The border, the colors on the borders, they're really more for us than for you, but let me tell you what they mean. The red is just a warning. When you see it turn to a purple color, that means a tornado has been reported. If we ever see one where the border stays entirely black, that is a tornado emergency, which is something we never want to see. By the way, surrounding this, there happens to be a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. That goes into Colonial Beach. It goes into the northwestern parts of Essex County. That is also until 7 o'clock this evening. And just so that we're not tunnel vision here, I want to take down a look. We've got some of the storms starting to develop back down to the southwest, and a few more back down the southwest down here. We're starting to see what gets going here. Again, south of Interstate 64, the atmosphere has been very, even though it's hot and humid, the atmosphere has remained very tranquil this afternoon through the evening up over us here. So again, a lot of lightning strikes ongoing north side of this storm. Okay, as you can see, and again, that tornadic circulation would be getting very close to Bowling Green. So, you know, here's where the highways meet. There's 301 coming up, right there. There's 301 coming up in the turn. There's your shortcut down to I-95, and there's Route 2 going northward. Here's the hail spike in the storm on the northern end of this, and again, right through here, this is the inflow notch. Okay, this is the inflow notch right here on the storm. So this is the area in which, if there's any rotation, it's going on right through here, headed towards Bowling Green right now. And again, you've got the gas stations on the map here. You go up into Bowling Green itself, you've got all, you know, the fast food restaurants up there, the Pizza Hut, the Hardee's, and those locations there. Matt, what you got to show you? You work with the correlation coefficient.
You're looking at the CC, or what's in the air, right? So that blue is just to the north of Bowling Green right now.
Yep.
And whether we're looking at the AKQ site or whether we're looking at the Sterling site, I mean, really, it's potentially a bad situation with some debris in the air. And I say potentially because we need some sort of confirmation. I've actually put a question out to the National Weather Service in Wakefield to see if they have anybody who has maybe spotted this, maybe sheriff or law enforcement. But as John's been saying, when you're just north of Bowling Green, you're moving toward Acorns Corner, you're moving toward Delos, right along AP Hill Boulevard, excuse me. Those are the areas that really need to be in their safe spot right now, because this is the area where we potentially have a storm with rotation coming your way. And we continue to look at the shear rate. That has weakened quite a bit. Let me grab another view here. Yeah, same thing there. And that velocity, so just to the north here of Bowling Green, a little bit north and east, as we continue to mark this, we're seeing some winds at about 30 miles per hour and also 37. So some weak rotation, but rotation nonetheless with this potential storm here, 28 and 39 when I switch it up. And if I switch it up to the different site there, it doesn't look as impressive. But again, boy, I look at this CC, which is, you know, hey, what's in the air? What's floating up there? And when I start to see blues, that really has me for some concern, especially when it fits in the palm of this potential notch that John has been talking about, right? There's our notch, there's the CC. Those things together have me concerned that we could possibly, again, wait for verification, have some sort of touchdown or something with some debris in the air, John.
Yeah, and one of the other things to remember with this, we discussed Caroline County. Caroline County is a very rural county. I mean, if you consider that New Kent has become very urban, okay, essentially from Norfolk to Richmond, northward to Washington, D.C., in fact, pretty much all the way up to New York City and Boston, Caroline County is the only county that would be rural along what they refer to as the Golden Crescent, up and down the eastern seaboard. Okay, so that's the only one that's right there. So this is a more sparsely populated area that we see. So we may not have as many eyes out there who can report to us what's going on with the storm. Again, this tornado warning remains in effect now for the next couple of minutes for you folks, okay? For the next couple of minutes, we're going to see if it gets extended. I would not be surprised if it gets extended right at 7 p.m. I don't think they're going to let the warning expire because they sent out a note saying the warning is going to continue. Circulation from the storm just north of Bowling Green, potential for a rotating storm, $half-sized hail. So once again, this warning in effect until 7 p.m. But again, this storm's going to be continuing to go to the east. So it's already produced one tornado warning back off to the west. Would not be surprised if we see another warning get issued on us. I'm going to give you all a heads up on that if you're tuning in right now, getting ready for Wheel of Fortune. You know, if we get a tornado warning, folks, we're going to stay on the air, okay? As far as this is concerned, and by the way, I'll also remind you that Wheel of Fortune is a repeat tonight, okay? It's a repeat, so many of you have already seen it. So here's the storm right now, just off to the northeast of Bowling Green, right here. As you can see, that continues. There's 301 up through here, right up through here. There's Port Republic, right up there. Okay, there's Port Royal, excuse me, Port Royal right up here. Okay, as you come through, this is where you've got the Port Royal Crossroads. That's where you've got the gas stations up in this location here. You go over the bridge and you eventually head over there, and then Port Conway right here. Okay, so that's where you've got everything going on right now. Let's widen the view out a little bit. So they're on the north side of the storm. The storm is located here over in the area around Bowling Green as we speak at this time. All right, let's put another little track on this storm just to kind of show you where it's going. There's the strong centroid, okay, right here. That's where the heaviest rainfall is, but the circulation would be here. So we go ahead and grab this, and we put a little circulation on it as we speak. Take it off in this direction at approximately, I may not be able to go out that far because I may not have it long enough to go through. Come on, I got to bring it back out, folks. Let me clear it back out, clear the map back off to the west and bring it out a little further so I get a little more room to play with right here to show you where it happens to be going. Take it from that circulation and move it off towards the northeast at about 30 miles an hour. Slide it right up in this direction just like this. Move it on through here as it goes through, and it's having a tough time reading my hand, but there's some of the locations right here. So Raymond's Fork, Range Corner, Baylortown, Broadus, Penny Corner, Goldman's Corner, Lent, all the way between now and, again, the next 30 minutes or so. Again, waiting to see if this warning gets extended, folks. We'll see how it all plays out as we go through. I haven't received any notifications that it is going to come into an end. But again, this is the area. We still have shear being reported in here. Don't see the bright colors. And notice the shear rates have broken up a little bit over here. We don't see a nice big swath over the region right now. I do hear something printing out right now. Matt's going to go take a peek at that just to let me know what it happens to be. That's coming out fairly long, Matt, so that's going to be something kicking through. Okay, that's good, because that printed out multiple pages right there, and see what that happens to say. That may be north of us here.
It's for southern Spotsylvania County, thunderstorm warning continuing.
Yep.
And same thing again. So
Same thing, okay, so that's the warning off to the north for Spotsylvania. Exactly. And again, okay, this warning has just come to an end. So this warning has just ended here, as you can see. Again, there's a severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect. That severe thunderstorm warning, that's in effect until 7:15 p.m. for Caroline County over into portions of the northern neck as we speak right now. So again, this storm looks like it has weakened in its circulation and may be moving, weakening down right now. They're waiting to see if it cycles or flares up anymore once again across the area, but we'll keep our eyes on this just for a minute or so. And again, the storm moving straight to the east right there. That's the area right through here. Let's go ahead and put this on here as we speak. We'll bring you here. Look at the centroid of the storm. That's going straight to the east, folks, okay? So you see it's going to head over towards Leedstown, Nashtown. That's taking you into the northern parts of Essex County, headed over towards very northwestern part of Richmond County and over into Westmoreland County up there. Again, pretty good width. The VTI is fairly high at 4.6 associated with this, so I don't know. Will not be surprised to see another warning coming out from this storm, as you can see right through here. And again, the top of it is 40,000 feet, and the hail size indicated there, 2.75. Again, that's the hail at the center of the storm. At least cut it in half when it gets down to the ground, because it melts down. And again, that's going towards Eubanks Corner. It's going towards Delos. It's headed again towards Lent. It's headed over towards Goldman's Corner by the time we get to 7:11 p.m. tonight. So that's the area here that we are watching with this storm. And again, we want to stay with this just for a couple minutes more to see if the Weather Service is going to put anything out on this storm. Again, the correlation coefficient from this, back out here to show it to you. Again, it's got right here, pretty good area. We'll keep our eyes on it for you folks over the next few minutes to see what's happening with it. Stay with us for updates.
This has been a special Storm Tracker 8 weather report. Please visit WRIC.com or the 8 News app for continuing coverage.
It's time to remodel your bathroom, but you don't want the hassle. You just want it done. Rebath. From start to stunning. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1